I've had this slab of pippy oak sat in the back of the shed for over a year now, and I plan to make it into a bookshelf for my daughter. The problem is, one side has been flattened by the sawmill, but the other is all over the place. The reason I haven't flattened it yet is because the slab is wider than my planer thicknesser, so it really needs a CNC or a router sled to flatten it. Problem is, I don't have a CNC, and until now, I didn't have a router sled. Now in the past, I have made one, but I'm so short on time nowadays that I've just never got round to making another. So when Banggood recently got in touch asking if I wanted to try out any of their products, a router sled was the first thing that I asked for. This is the Enjoy Wood benchtop slab flattening jig. Now, if you aren't familiar with sleds like these, the idea is to have two parallel bars or rails that your workpiece will then sit in between, and then this piece slides over the top of it, sideways and back and forwards, and you put your router on top to cut and flatten the slab. So the router attaches to the base plate, which is pretty much universal. It'll fit most routers, and if not, you can actually just drill your own holes and make it fit your router. Then you just run the router side to side and up and down on the sled. Now you obviously need a cutter in the router, so you can use a standard straight cutter, but it's better to use a dedicated flattening bit like this one. This is a Levy flattening bit, and it has 4 separate flute cutters, so it gives a high quality finish on tough materials like this oak. Better still, the cutters have 4 sides, so when one edge is blunt, you can turn them 3 times. And when the 4th side gets blunt, instead of replacing the bit, you can just replace the cutter blades. I'll leave a link to this one, as well as obviously all of the other stuff that I'm using in this video, down in the description. If your workpiece isn't flat on your table and it rocks, you can either hot glue it to hold it in place or put some shims under it. Because mine's been flattened already on the other side, it's nice and solid, so I don't need to. You can, however, if you want to, run a little bit of double-sided tape in a few places just to stop this from sliding backwards and forwards, which is what I'm going to do. To get started, you want to find what you think is your highest point and then put your router cutter to that level. Then once you've found it, just move over the whole slab just to make sure that that is the highest level. And then you want to just drop it down about 0.5 millimeter for this first pass. Direction isn't as critical as it is with edge routing because the sled is holding everything in line. But you still don't want to make too heavy a cut. If the router starts pulling itself along, back off a bit and take a lighter pass. Once you've done your first pass, have a quick check to make sure everything's looking okay. Depending on your slab, you're probably only going to have flattened a few areas, but this is exactly what you want. Drop the router down 1 to 2 millimeter max and then do your next pass. If the router struggles or chatters, do a shallower pass. You'll quickly get a feel of the material you're using, and you'll know if you're trying to cut too much at once. In terms of the router speed, you want to set it to around 12,000 RPM to start with. If you get burning on the slab, slow things down further, and if the cutter feels like it isn't cutting cleanly, even on shallower passes, try speeding things up slightly. So I did the first couple of passes yesterday and then just ran out of time, and I just want to quickly show you the setup that I'm using. So you can see here, initially I've just joined the 2 rails together just using some plywood strips, and then I was just clamping this down. That was because these hadn't arrived yet. These are threaded inserts. Basically what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put some threaded inserts into the top of the outfeed table, and then I'll be able to bolt this onto the outfeed table, and it'll be nice and removable, and rather than screwing it and leaving horrible screw holes, we'll be left with a nice clean threaded insert. That also will mean that the ends will be open, so I can slide the workpiece along, which means I'll be able to do this full slab, because at the minute I can't quite do up to the very end. I've got about 2 inches at that end and about 3 inches at that end. I'm actually drilling all the way through these holes as well, and that is simply because if I do that, it means I can put the threaded inserts in, and then I can use whatever length bolts, and if they need to, they can go further through the 18mm plywood and into the void underneath here. Just gives me a little bit more adjustability, because on thicker slabs like this, you do actually have to raise the rails off of the surface, which is why, as you can see, I've been using a few bits of 9mm plywood just to raise this off of the surface. You need to make sure that you've got enough thickness of material to do a full flattening. My timber is really up and down and it needs quite a lot taken off to flatten it, but I've got plenty of thickness in this slab. Now, this is a messy process, so it's worth bearing that in mind before you start. I rigged my extraction up to roughly near the cutter, and it helped, but there were still loads of chips. Once you get to the point where the cutter is touching the whole surface, that means you've removed the high spots and the slab should now be flat across the face. At this stage, I don't want to keep taking heavy cuts. I just want to take one final shallow finishing pass, overlapping each to clean up the surface as evenly as possible. And even though direction isn't critical for the actual flattening, if the timber seems to cut cleaner in one direction, use that direction for the final pass, rather than going back and forth both ways. That should give you the cleanest surface before sanding. On this slab I had quite a lot of these sharp parts, so they got removed and shaped with the grinder to avoid any toddler injuries. I decided to cut some of the back edge of this slab straight so that I could cut the ends at more of a square angle, since this shelf is going to be sitting into an alcove. So I used the track saw to run a straight line down it and the miter saw to square the ends. When you're done flattening, you'll most likely see a few lines in the slab. They look like big steps on camera, but they're pretty much nothing. A quick sand down with some 120 grit gets these gone really quickly. Then you can just sand with 240 grit and you should be ready for finish. For finish, I'm using some OSMO oil, as it's quite tough, so it should handle the delightful sticky fingers of a toddler grabbing a book. After it was dry, a second coat was applied and I was left with this. Then it was ready for mounting on the wall with some shelf brackets. So that is the project all finished, and I have to say using a proper flattening jig was a lot easier and faster than the homemade one that I'd used previously. It only took me a couple of hours to take this slab from a real mess to perfectly flat, sanded and finished. The best part with this jig is the fact that I can unbolt it and then it fits perfectly into my outfeed table's hidden storage, ready to go when I next need it. If you haven't seen the video where I make this outfeed table, make sure you check that one out next. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.